So I want to show you some of the basic principles to making some of the ultimate and most awesome cabins. We're not going to build a huge massive one today. We're just going to show you the techniques so at least you know what to do and especially what building materials work best. So we kind of have three combinations. I've gone through like all the resources in Minecraft, including the ones that you can't actually get in exploration, but I've only come up with three that actually look like a cabin. The rest just don't look right. The first combination, which is my favorite, is beech log with sandstone. The second one, which is my second favorite, is not that one. I got this wrong. It's redwood log. You can use redwood for everything in the cabin. And then the last one is a combination of cedar log and fir log. Now I'll show you how this works. Now you're going to use, and we're going to build a very small cabin, again, all about technique. And when you're building, in order to make your roof line look good, your structure has got to be in even block numbers, not odd. So you can't go 1, 2, 3, and then go up again. First of all, you have to do even numbers. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and then you can go up again. All right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Everything has to be even numbers to make it look right. So I'm using beech log. Technically, you can use other logs of similar variant look, I guess you can say. But beech easily looks the best. Out of all the logs in the game, this combination, beech looks the best. And there's probably some beech trees in this forest right here. See? This is a beech tree right here. You want to look for this forest with this combination of the very light green and the regular green leaves. So that's oak right there. You'll find a lot of beech trees in this forest right here. That's what you want to look for. All right, and just build this all the way across. Okay, so then you got your very basic structure. Now this is where the sandstone comes in. The sandstone actually looks like wood for the roofing, okay? The other roofing just doesn't work. You need sandstone, which you can find underneath the sand in the deserts, right? So we're going to craft one, because we only need one in creative, right? Now start to build your roof line like this. And we're going to do a series of 2 gables, okay? What do you call the other gables? A semi-gable? Okay, this is be a gable roof line. Now, of course, there's different slanted variants you can do. That's usually based on what type of environment you're going to be. If it's going to be deep snow, you can do this. I'll show you that one too if you want me to. You could do this one, which actually in my experience works the worst. For some reason, it doesn't look as good. The regular, simple 45-degree angle slant works the best in most situations, okay? So go ahead and fill this in. And when you get to this spot right here, use the sandstone. I tried it using the logs. It just never looks right. Use the sandstone. In fact, you can just fill it in like this. You know it's going to be like this. Just to get the roof line in. If you do have an even number, and you get to the top, then you use the roof slab that's flat, but it doesn't look as good. It just doesn't look quite cabin-y. Real cabins don't look like that in real life. So that's why you want to build your structure in even numbers. So, we got the roof line on the top finished now. Now we got to finish the sides. Do one more. Believe it or not, this is important. It just doesn't look right if you don't do one more out. Okay, now we've got the side of the cabin. It's looking pretty neat. Now we need to fill in on the sides. And don't use planks. Use logs. In Hytale, you don't save on cost of materials by changing them to planks. They're both the same. So you might as well go ahead and use logs. It'll look 100 times better. If you want, you can fill it in all the way and then decide where your windows go. We're just going to decide that it's just going to go, you know where. Simple wooden door looks the best, which you get from hardwood. Let's say the door is right here. Usually I'll put this one above ground the ground level of the cabin, but we're just getting this in. Window, again, just the simple window looks best. In some instances, the tavern window looks good, but you can't see out of it so easy. That's why, in the end, the simple wooden window is the best window. Okay, now we've got that part of the cabin. Now, I told you we're going to do our second gable. Here we go. This is what you need to do. Okay, for your second gable, you need to remove either either 4 or 6 blocks, okay, for where the gable window is going to go. You can put it there, you can put it there. I think for us, we're going to put it right there. So remove 4 or 6. Let's do 6 on this side, okay? Then you're going to put in 1, 2, 3, 4 windows. And then build up like that, okay? And build up like that again. Now you have a decision to make. You can do either way. You can either do more windows or just fill in with a sandstone block. And I think, let's do windows. Okay, I'm going to put these in, then you're going to end up removing 2 more roof lines. There is your second gable. And just so you can see what it looks like if you do use sandstone, it looks okay. It actually looked better with the 2 windows in there. And then you're not done. You can leave it like that if you want, but it probably looks better if you fill it in. Like this. It's up to you. In my opinion, for a small cabin like this, the 6 removal is too big. That's why in most cases, you'll actually just want to remove 4. Now, let's assume that I've done it 1 higher up. And there's no blocks underneath. You can come inside and you have a choice. You can either use sandstone or use the beach log. In this particular case, it actually doesn't matter which one. You can use either one. Oops, sorry. You're going to put 2 windows in there, okay? Then put 2 here. And this one, you don't have to remove a second one. And then you got that. And this, in my opinion, is the one that looks the best most often. See? And then you got your nice little gable right there. These are more effective, too, the bigger your cabin is. So you can see this second gable. It works okay, but it's not particularly good. But there you go. And then see, you have your interior, and it looks really neat. Oh, there's 1 extra block I placed. Okay, and you can either put your loft right there by using the slabs, put a ladder up there, whatever you want. So that's the basic structuring of the cabin. You can build it in whatever array you want. It's a matter of filling in the roofing. But now I want to show you what the different textures look like. Because remember... Oh, what? I didn't do it right? Inventory. I typed inventory wrong, didn't I? Because I showed you my favorite one. My second favorite one is the redwood. And then the least favorite one, which still works, but, you know, works out all right, is those 2. Okay. So the nice thing about redwood is it's easy to chop down and get lots of wood out, and you can use it for both the roof and the log sidings, okay? Again, we're going to do this very simple. Let's only do 3 high. Hope I did it even number, huh? 1, 2, 3, 4. Gotta do an even number, not odd. Keep doing that. I'm trying to do this as fast as I can to save you guys time. I hate those tutorials, you know, where they just talk about a lot of nonsense and waste your time. Let's don't do that. What I'm going to do is as quick as you can so you can see what you need to see and then move on. Okay, so you got the logs right there. Let's don't fill in the sides. Again, I said we want to save time. Let's just get the roofing. And we're going to do both this so you can see what they both look like. And again, we're going to put on the side. And this kind of makes me think of like a cabin you would see at like a camp or something, a youth camp or something. And then you just fill in the roofing. Oh, but you do want to use the planks and not the logs. What is it? What does it become? It doesn't become hardwood. What does it become? What they become is something I don't have memorized yet. it becomes redwood planks. Okay, well that's easy. They're not all like that. They're not all simple like that. All right, and see, then you'd fill it in and make an awesome, nice roof line. Okay, now let's assume we're over here and you want to do this one. Of course, you're going to have to fill this in because a lot of cabins in the colder areas do look like this. Actually, we're doing it wrong, aren't we? Because it needs to come down to the bottom. Most cabins are like this. They go all the way to the bottom. Okay, so fill it in all the way to the bottom. Let's see, we're going to need to put in those right there. Do it again, do it again. Do this again. And then once you get to about the top, you actually need to change the slant. The very last 2 blocks, because in real life, it's not, these cabins, those winter cabins are made like this. In real life, they don't come straight to a point at the top. At the top, they curve once into a gambrel, is what they'll call them, and then they finish off. So let's see. What did I, oh yeah, of course. Let's assume I've done this side right, huh? Oop. Okay. You're not there yet. Okay, there's the last 2. The last 2, you then make it a slant in just a little bit. Okay. And then, of course, then you'll fill it in. Whoop. There. And you will need to outline. That's what this is. You're outlining the roof. Whoop. And this is how you make the cold weather cabin. You see that? The unfortunate thing is I hope they fix this. You see how this block sticks out? It really shouldn't do that. That's something they need to fix so that it matches this kind of roof up top. But that's how it looks. And I'll leave it up to you to go in and finish filling it in. We're not going to do that in this video because you just go all the way to the end, you finish it, and then you have your cold weather cabin. Now let's go back to the first cabin because we finished the exterior tutorial. That is all you need. That is the technique right there, and you can go and make any cabin in the world after that. Okay? What about interior? I will show you interior. There's an easier way. I'm going to go show you a cabin I already made in one of my adventure maps. So this is not the cabin. This is where I just barely spawned. But yeah, I did do a couple of the same techniques with the gables and stuff. But we want to go look at the nice interior. You're not going to find it here. I have it down here as my teleporter, which goes to a couple of different places. We're going to go to the first cabin, which is my lesser favorite cabin. That is, what was it? It's Mount Snow Castle. Okay, let's go to Mount Snow Castle. Okay, here's my first cabin. I did the roof line a little bit different. This is, by the way, using the fir wood. Use fir wood for outside and use the cedar wood for the roof line. You know, that gives you the darker red roof line. The brighter brown roofing, just, in my opinion, doesn't look very cabiny. I don't much like it. You can see here's the front of this cabin. This cabin's okay. I actually don't much care for this design that I did. This is my first cabin I actually built in Hytale. The very first cabin, this is it. But let's look at interior, because that's what we came for. So you can see I've got my fireplace. You can use stone brick or cobblestone. I'd prefer the regular campfire versus the cooking campfire into this. You'll see it in the other house. I got those at the Yeti Mountains, you know. See, this is a redwood fence. Use the redwood fence for a log holder, like you're going to put it on the fire. Doesn't it look good? A lumberjack chair. See, you got it right there. Got a lot of tables around. Furnace. And then here's the stairways right here. And you see, I built a loft. Cabins look good when you do lofts instead of an entire floor, and that's why I left this open into the loft area instead. And you want to use, what are those called again? I can't cheat in this one, so I can't just swap over and show you. See, here's the master bedroom. I used marble for some of this material here, because marble looks good for some of your fancier things. It kind of looks like it doesn't fit, so it's up to you. Like I said, this is my first cabin. Let's go down to the basement now. I usually put the basement stairs under the main stairs to conserve space. Okay. And see, here's one bedroom. Every bedroom has a cabinet and a chest, and then maybe a table. I also will put shelving in some of them. There's 2 bedrooms, right? Yeah, there's some shelves. This is one way to do a TV. This is my lesser favorite TV, but that's one way. And see, another bedroom. Okay, so you have seen my lesser favorite cabin. But it still works and it's kind of fun. But I want to go show you the cabin that I actually care about. That one I actually finished not too long ago. It took a little bit, because you have to go get the resources, but I've gotten a lot more efficient at doing it. Let's swap to, which one was it? Mount Yeti Atanias. That is the cabin I care about. Okay. Right where I'm going to come to the front, and look, my salvager is my mailbox. I kept the campfire and some of these outside workbenches out here. Look at this cabin. Does this look nice? See, here's a fully finished cabin using my favorite combination, which is the beechwood and sandstone, cobbled sandstone for the roof line. It looks even better inside. See, isn't this cool? Oh, you got to come up to the loft. My favorite is the loft area. Wouldn't it be? Oh, I just want to stay in a place like this in real life. Oh, and I put this lamp here. This lamp gives off a lot of light. These are one of the best things to have in the house. And lanterns are good too. They give off a little more light than torches, and they're not that expensive. So I removed all the torches and put in lanterns. They look better. And look, when it's time to go to bed, you just turn it off and get into bed. Yay! Turn it back on again. So lanterns are a good choice. Here's my fireplace with actual campfires that I took out of Yeti Mountains. Got to have your chef stove and your furnace. There's a cauldron. I actually didn't make this one. I stole that one, guys. But anyways, see there's cabinets. Let's go down to the basement. See, I have a little eating area. Here's a nice little way to make a table. What are those called again? Okay, that bugging me so bad. I can't remember the name. What's the matter with me? They're called simple wooden platforms. Okay. Use simple wooden platforms and trapdoors for tables. Because look, I can come sit in here. This looks like a table, but I can also open up. I got those backwards, don't I? I'll fix it later. You can use those as tables too. Here is the theater. The cabinet actually looks best for the TV. It looks like one of those entertainment stations. You open the doors and there's a TV inside. I used the specially carved wood planks, whatever they're called, for the speakers, shelves, and here's my platform so a lot of people can sit around the TV. Let's go into the basement bedroom. Very cozy. Here's some carpet. Currently you cannot make carpet. I took that out of one of those skeleton places. That's the best place to get carpet. And again, these are the best lights. These lights and lanterns. You can turn off lights when you go to bed. Now let's go to the master bedroom. Here's another bed I stole from whatever that guy that lives underground. Again, you can turn off the light. Got some candle. You want to turn on off a candle. And that's the bedroom. And there you can see the way the linings look up here for the gables. And then I got my backyard, which isn't much. It's just a little place to exit. But isn't this neat? What's even nice, and this is why I love Hytale. Oh, I love Hytale so much. It's so much easier to build onto these, because anytime you want to get on the roof, you just jump up and go up. And this is how I finish my roof line. I jumped off in that same spot every time to finish my roof line. Okay, but there you have it. that was the interior. It's a matter of just placing those blocks in those little positions. It's very simple, actually. You don't need to overdo it, because since these blocks, I'm going to teach you a technique about how this works in Hytale and in real life. There's a technique called greebling, which means just adding random noise to make something look more realistic. Because the objects in these blocks in Hytale are more realistic looking than they are in Minecraft, it means that you need fewer of them to maintain the same feeling of aesthetics. Whereas in Minecraft, you're going to fill in a ton of stuff to make it feel full. You just don't need to in Hytale. You don't need as much to still look just as good. That's the beauty of greebling and Hytale. But you know what? That's the end of the tutorial. Okay, guys? So there's the interior. You saw how to do the exterior. This has been the ultimate guide to building cabins in Hytale.